feel like that painter guy. What's his name? Bob Ross.
Oh yeah.
Happy trees.
Yeah. This is happy.
Happy trees.
Happy ground, happy soil.
Oh, this tree needs a friend.
Look at that technique right there, boys. Huh? You didn't know about that.
Well, that's a new one right there.
What's up, y'all? I'm Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut. Thanks for coming back for yet another week. So this is going to be an update video. I'm not sure if you guys remember or not, but last year, exactly 1 year ago, I traveled to Alexandria, Minnesota, known as Alec to the locals. And I actually did a collaboration with Zach Johnson. He's called the Millennial Farmer here on YouTube. And his dad, Nathan. We actually used Scotts ProVista Kentucky Bluegrass seed to seed his brand new construction home. I've actually been working with Scotts ProVista for a few years now, but I actually have the St. Augustine version down here in Florida. Last year, they actually released the Kentucky Bluegrass version. So if you see the name ProVista on grass, right now you'll see St. Augustine and Bluegrass. That means that that grass has been bred to be, number one, glyphosate tolerant, so you can use glyphosate as your weed control. Number two, it's supposed to have a deeper, darker blue-green color. And number three, it's a slower grower and should bring about half the mowing. So that's the ProVista brand. That's what they put into their grasses. And when the Kentucky Bluegrass was available, I saw this opportunity to go seed this lawn, and that's what we did. So they have irrigation, comes right out of the lake behind. So that was not an issue. We did put down starter fertilizer, Greene County Fertilizer supplied all of that at the beginning, as well as we put down mesotrione for weed control and those seeding mats, and everything was good to go. I'll link up there so you can see the video of everything we did. However, from there until the end of the season, until their winter, which I don't remember when their winter came this year, October maybe, but until then it didn't get any more fertilizer. That's because Nathan's a farmer. He's got to be out, tending to his fields. He also had some challenges with knee surgery, things like that. So the lawn didn't get fertilized. And then when we came into the spring of this year, 2021, he was texting me saying, oh, this grass it doesn't look so great. It's a little bit slow. He was telling me that his neighbor next door seeded last year behind his shed and had a lawn within like 5 or 10 days. It started bringing back a lot of those thoughts that I used to have when I used to have customers and I worked for True Green, and I didn't always communicate things well. So I had to work with him and say, Nathan, I get it, man. I'm coming back. We're coming back, because there was more than just the lawn not growing in the way we wanted. There was also some other challenges that we had to deal with. So in May of this year, I got together with my crew and another crew and went back up to Alec to assess the situation and get things back under control. So the 3 different things that we faced were, number one, the areas that did grow in, they just need nitrogen. So it's kind of thin. It doesn't look like it's moving very fast, and it's not, because it needs nitrogen. It really needs to be fed. The second thing you're seeing, which needs to be addressed, are washouts from big rains that they had in the fall and in the spring. Whenever you change the grade on a place, when you have new construction, you never know where the water's going to go, but it's going to go where it wants to go, and it showed us, and it washed a few areas out. And then the third thing you're seeing are quite a few weeds. Now, you can't spray glyphosate on it for at least 6 or 8 months after it's established, so that was looking really bad. And so the first thing I did, actually, to make everyone feel better, is I gave it a fresh cut, because a fresh cut will make the lawn look better even when it doesn't look that good. Okay, so there it is after a cut. Looks much better. Now there's some more dirt work going on here, so tractor ruts, but that's not on me there, so it is what it is. But you'll see much better now. And that's part of the psychological thing here. When you're seeding, just cut the lawn, even if you don't think it needs it. And by the way, this is for any of you with any lawn anywhere. Just cut the lawn. Every lawn, no matter if it's full of weeds or not, or if it, like this one, it's just trying to grow in, it's gonna look better if you give it a cut. Now I cut it at 2.5 inches, which cut off, as you'll see, the Poa annua right here. But then also it makes it more even with the Kentucky Bluegrass that's coming in. Now, we're in Minnesota here, so it's still coming out of winter dormancy. That's what this brown is. It is just now starting to green up. I don't think it really got any fertilizer last fall. So it just got fertilizer for the first time here about a week and a half ago. We can still see some of it on the ground, as well as the irrigation was just turned on about 2 weeks ago. So as of 2 weeks ago, it actually looked like this. So it's come a long way just from water and some of the warmer temperatures that they're finally getting here, which is what we've needed, which is what this grass has needed. So as far as fixing the areas that washed out, I was very fortunate. There's a team that came up. They're also based in Minnesota. They're called Voigt-Smith Innovations, or VSI. They actually make small hydroseeding units. When I say small, I mean ones that can be mounted in the back of a truck or on a small trailer or even on a gator. And they said, we're going to come up with our crew and we're going to help you fix the areas that just washed out and didn't grow at all. And they actually got there a day before I did. Nate had gotten some fresh dirt in. They were driving the tractor all around the property, filling in any low spots, compacting those down, and then hydroseeding over top. So those guys did all of that heavy lifting. I didn't have to touch any of that. When I got there the next day, all that was really left for us to do was some of the edges, because the erosion mats, we didn't get them all the way to the edge, all the way around every landscape bed. So all the edges needed to be reseeded and grown in, plus all the weeds that had come in there. So we did some of that. But I just wanted to say, Voigt-Smith, thank you guys. You guys did an awesome job coming in. You bailed me out. You saved me, because I would have had no way to fix all this stuff. So thank you so much to you guys. Now, there's two things I want to say to you guys, the audience, about Voigt-Smith VSI and also about these small hydroseeding units. The first one is that a lot of you guys have side hustles. You mow lawns on the side, right, from whatever your day job is. And a lot of you also do aeration and overseeding. But what if you actually did hydroseeding from one of these small units? You do bare spots for people, or you'll see later, they actually showed me how you can make the mix a lot thinner, still get your starter fur, mesotrione in there, your seed, everything, but make the mix a little bit thinner. And you can actually use hydroseeding as overseeding, but everything sticks in, because what's the biggest challenge we have when we're overseeding is being concerned about the seed washing away. This solves that. So that's something that's approachable for you guys. These smaller units are able to, well, they're just approachable for guys that might want to do this as a side hustle. That was the first thing. The second thing is the guys at VSR are giving one away. So if you link below or click the link below, there's actually a landing page they made. They're going to give away one of their small units to you guys. Now, obviously, if you're somebody that lives in the big city, you don't need any side hustle, and you have 500 square feet, don't enter this contest. Let somebody win it that actually needs it. And if you're somebody that's going to look to do this entrepreneurial on the side, I definitely recommend that you enter this contest. But either way, that's pretty cool that not only did they come bail me out, they did all this work, saved us with all of this, but they also are giving one away to you guys. So make sure you check them out below. And again, thank you, Voigt-Smith and your team. Thank you guys so much for coming out and helping me out on this. So the third thing we had to address when we went back there in May had to do with the areas that had grown in but weren't growing in quite as fast as we would like. And we used the hydroseeder at that half mix rate to help there. So they put in their liquid starter fur, put in mesotrione, put in more seed, but the mix was lower. So all the areas that had germinated that weren't quite growing, we went ahead and sprayed over the top of all of those. As far as fertilizer goes, Nathan had actually put some fertilizer down about a week before I got there, some sort of, I think it was a 1616 or something he got at a farm store. But we weren't sure where it was. We could see it in some spots and not in others. That's how it is to film in my garage. So we could see the fertilizer in some spots and not others. He'd actually used a giant 3-point hitch fertilizer spreader that went on the back of his compact tractor there, or small tractor. So it was just flinging everywhere. So we talked about getting that part set too. And in the future, I recommended he get a homeowner type spreader, something that maybe would pull behind his John Deere lawn tractor, which I'm pretty sure he did. I also left him some Flagship, which he did apply 2 applications after I left. He applied one in July and another one in August. So he's getting on that track now. And here is what the lawn looks like when I just went back last week, so mid-August, to take a look at it now after all of that fix and repair work in June. So this one came out as a success. Obviously, if I was there throwing down, I would have that thing looking a lot deeper, darker blue-green. But again, we have to realize this is what most homeowners do. They throw fertilizer down a couple, 2-3 times a year, and they mow it when they need to, and that's how it is. He'll use glyphosate now. You can see he's already using some glyphosate on the weeds because it is mature enough for that now. But that's pretty much how things are gonna roll for him. The top 3 things that I learned with this is, number 1, this is why I do not like seeding on bare ground. This was new construction, we had no choice, but I do not like it. But new construction's even worse when you change grade, again, because of the water issues. But again, so many more challenges seeding on bare ground. So that was one thing I learned. The second thing I learned is that the erosion mats work fine, but hydro seeding would be much better, so I would definitely go with that in the future. It just seems to make everything stick better, plus it all can get rolled into that one mix and sprayed down and good. And then the third thing I used, and this is for all of you, Kentucky bluegrass is slow. You have to be patient with it. It's not ryegrass. I can get a ryegrass lawn literally in 10 days. It'll be beautiful. Kentucky bluegrass isn't like that. Even though it does have rhizomes, they're not like the rhizomes that we experience here with warm season grass. It takes a while for it to get going. And on top of that, the ProVista that's got a built-in growth regulator is even slower. And as I've found with my ProVista, if you let it go into a season like winter or come out of a season like winter without bombing it with nitrogen, it is going to be even slower. So while all the lawns are greening up around you, yours will not. That happens with the St. Augustine grass, and now we see it can happen with the Kentucky bluegrass. So you have got to keep it fed. What happens is, I think the tendency is, well, we don't have to mow it as much, so we don't think we have to feed it as much. But that's not the case. It needs to eat. You gotta let that big dog eat. I know everybody thinks that low nitrogen is some sort of cool thing, but these lawns, they need to eat if you want them to be high performing and you want them to look good and you want them to stand out amongst the rest. So that's the whole thing there, is patience. With that, I'm Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut. Hope you've enjoyed this series. Hope you've learned a little something, and I'll see you in the lawn.